Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
All
soon.
time, we got Mark with the Mindful Reality podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Mindful Reality, where I cover reality TV from a mental health perspective. We are on day 92, y'all. 92 consecutive days I've been on here. 92 consecutive days they've been in the house. 92 days. I don't know if y'all realize how long that is. We are already past the point of 3 months in that house, and we still have 8 days to go. Hey, yo, this is during Amazing Race, though. You know I don't watch Amazing Race. You're streaming during Amazing Race. Luckily, there's a commercial. So I could go through everything and say there's so many big updates to tell you about what's going on. There's no updates. I'm going to be honest with y'all. There is no updates on what's going on. It's too long, I agree. There's no updates on what's going on. There's something that I see that's happening in the house that I will call imposter fatigue. You may have heard of things like compassion fatigue. If y'all heard of something like compassion fatigue, I experienced that where I was caregiving for my dad. And when other people came to me and said, Mark, I need help with this, or I have this emotional struggle, I was kind of like, in my head, I was like, I don't really care. But I was feeling bad about feeling that way. But then I learned it's because I was using so many emotional resources for this caregiving that when other people came to me with other things, I just couldn't. I didn't have anything left to give. That was basically what that meant for me. So when I say imposter fatigue, I think the limit for being fake is about what the show has been in recent years, 82 days, 84 days, 85 days. I feel like that's the limit. And I think that we passed that limit 1 to 2 weeks ago for all these people. So now when there is only 5 of them left, we're seeing that the two sides are no longer interested in faking their relationships, faking their alliances at all. And clearly, for the last few days, Jag, Bowie, and Matt have sat in the HOH room talking, making jokes, playing games, drinking beers and wines. And Felicia and Sari have sat down in their room upset because they know that it's been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks that have gone by. And they're only still there because of the fact that Bowie, Jag, and Matt decided that we want them here for this final 5 because it will be easy to take them out. 1, 2. And so far, that has been the case. Because Sari didn't win this week and Felicia didn't win this week. They didn't win HOH. They didn't win veto. So really, now everybody is staying to their group. The group upstairs and the group downstairs. And I could summarize each and every conversation that they're having. But at the end of the day, it's redundant. They're repeating a lot of the same things. And there's nothing new going on. Hi, Tasha. I wasn't in college yet when the season started, and now my semester is almost done. Hi, all watching the World Series. Hi, Mickey. Hello, Mark and everyone. I'll be so glad when BB is over. You and me both, Debbie. What other shows do you watch, by the way? Okay, I'm going to head off now because I'm watching this. See you later, Ma. So, I guess the latest thing that I saw from the feeds, something that I have really been enjoying actually over the last 24 hours, is that Sari and Mama Felicia have basically decided, let's just put all our cards on the table at this point. Let's just say everything that we've said. Let's share information. Because at this point, it's kind of like, to me, it's almost like Jared and Cameron type of thing, where when Jared and Cameron knew at the end of this, only one of us is coming back into the house, definitely. Now they're like, we don't have any reason to lie to each other. We don't have any reason to hold punches. We can just be honest and transparent. And I feel like that's where Mama Fee and Sari are right now, where they're like, either one of us could go home. But now they're saying to each other, we wish we had worked together. Which I'm like, even though Sari did at one point have a problem with Felicia and, still had an underlying problem with Felicia, she still was looking at the numbers game when it came down to the final, like 5, 6, 7, and saying the most power that we have is by voting together and sticking together. It doesn't mean we have to like each other. It doesn't mean we have to trust each other, but it just means that we are unlikely to beat those guys in competitions. So our biggest power is our 2 votes. But Felicia decided to run to Jag, and that took that power away because now Felicia was an agent for Jag. Now, another thing is, Sari and Felicia were talking. I was looking on Twitter a little bit earlier, and they were saying, we want Matt to win. Out of those 3, we do not want Bowie or Jag to win. So if either of them are sitting next to Matt in a final 2 chair, we are going to vote Matt, and we're going to convince the jury to vote for Matt. So that's one thing. I don't know who they would choose between Jag or Bowie, though. If it was Jag and Bowie, I'm not sure. Trying to figure out how to torture an elderly person / Air Force vet is an extreme loss of compassion. I never really saw them as compassionate people. Hello, everyone. Hi, Chanel. Only the challenge that you recap. Oh, okay. It's been tough, Rocky. I haven't heard a lot of it with my own ears, and I can't take it. I'm exhausted with the show. Yeah, there's not, especially after Sarigo's, like, it's just, out of who's left, I would hope for a miracle, but I wouldn't bet $1 on Felicia being able to pull out one of these comps. Supposedly a comp coming up is going to be a memory comp, so maybe she pulls one out, hopefully. But I don't have my hopes up. I have such a little amount of faith in that happening. I fully expect this Jag, Matt, Bowie final 3, which is worst case scenario of any of my scenarios. And in that case, the order that I would want them to win, maybe 1 Matt, 2 Bowie, and 3 Jag. That's probably where I'm at. I saw it on the feeds, and I'm glad I did because I would think people were trying to slander Jag due to his heritage. Mustard Seed. Matt said Fee and Sari. See, I don't understand these conversations that they've been having. They've been talking about some Felicia and saying that she hoards the food. They were talking about Felicia with the cards. They were like, let's sneak up the alcohol into the room so they can't have any of the alcohol. They made the comments with the pumpkins. Oh, I only cared about our 3 pumpkins anyways, Bowie said when they were taking the pictures. I only cared about us 3 and our pumpkins anyways. And I'm like, are y'all ever going to get tired of this? Because I am as a viewer. That's why I've seen so little of the feeds in the last 2 to 3 days. Hey, Deborah, good evening. Honestly, this is going to be a relatively short live. It's probably going to be one of my shorter lives because I didn't really have much of a specific update. I just hopped on here because, as y'all know, I'm on here each and every day for the season, and this is day 92. There's no way that just because they're not doing anything worth talking about that I wasn't going to jump on. But I also don't have an hour, 2 hours worth of things to talk about. And as a matter of fact, I'm done with what I had to say for Big Brother. So I don't want to cut this off at 12 minutes. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my day. So what happened with my day was that, as y'all know, I'm now starting to get this hybrid schedule, going into the office 1 or 2 days a week. And there's something about that. My whole life, I never had a remote job. The only one time I had a remote job was 1-800-Flowers. I worked at 1-800-Flowers for 2 to 3 months, 10 plus years ago. And I hated that job. I quit that job, and every other job has been in person. And then in 2020, my last job that I was at became work from home because of COVID-19 and the shutdown. So nobody was going into these offices. So I started working from home. This new job, this relatively new job that I've been in, has been 3 years work from home also. And then, so 3 years of working in my house. Let me tell you what that does for you and what that means. After years and years and years of going into offices and buildings and working with people, I am now no longer seeing anybody but the people in my own household. I'm logging into work the same way how I'm talking to y'all. That's the same way how I interact with my clients on video or audio. I interact with my coworkers on Teams, by voice, or by video. I do my work in my silo. I don't see anybody. And that's it. That's how the job goes. Now, one day in the office, a lot of people are like, oh, one day in the office is no big deal. The reason why it's a big deal for me is because a few things. Number one, I have to pick out my clothes. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is a big deal when you spend 3 years working in sweats and a tank top every day, every work day. Sweats and a tank top. And then if there was a meeting, at first I would throw on a button up, but after a while I got tired of that. And I'm like, nobody else is doing that except maybe the doctors. So let me just throw on a t-shirt for the meeting. Now I have to locate some khakis or something, iron them, make sure that I have a button-up shirt, pick it out. I have to have the emotional energy to go in and be amongst people. I'm going to be honest and say that I joined Teams meetings where I just clicked on the meeting and took a nap, allegedly. I'm not going to give the who, what, why, when, and where, but maybe I dozed off during a meeting or two and didn't say anything and possibly set an alarm for when the meeting was over. So now you got to be up. You got to be physically up, and the meetings are in person. So you can't fall asleep in the meeting, which almost happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I had to leave the room to splash some cold water on my face because I was falling asleep in a meeting where people were physically in the room with me. So I was like, that can't happen again. So I have to actually sleep at an appropriate time, get enough sleep, drink some coffee, even though I'm not even really a coffee drinker, but I just to stay awake. And then the energy it takes to be around people. People ask me how I can do so much of this, 92 days in a row of this, and not get tired. I don't feel the same fatigue sitting in front of a camera and reading comments as I do sitting in a room full of people and having to engage and interact and make sure that I'm giving my full attention because managers and coworkers are paying attention to me visually. They can see me. And then I'm talking to my clients in person. So the energy it takes for me to sit in front of them and talk to them about all their different issues as a counselor is much different than it takes for me to sit on a phone and do it. Yeah, I already spoke on BB. I made the disclaimer at the beginning of this, Chocolate, that I didn't have much to say about what was going on in the house. I finished that whole thing in like 10 minutes, and that's it for that, to be quite honest. Am I going back to 10 a.m.? It's not that I'm against going to 10 a.m. It's just that there hasn't really been anything new to talk about. So I don't really love jumping on for 2 days if there's nothing to talk about. If something miraculous happens tonight and they actually give me something to talk about at 10, sure, I'll hop on at 10, but I will not hop on at 10 just for the sake of it. I hope that you understand that. Appreciate that. This already sounds terrible. Why are people so set on having people go to the office? You know what it is? It's so funny that you said that exact number, 3 hours, because I was talking to somebody. I'm not even going to I can't give too many specifics, but I'll just say I was speaking to somebody today about that exact thing and how I learned at my last job that I was able to actually finish all my work in 3 hours. And then I would have the other 5 hours to nap, to go to the gym if I needed, to go to the doctor, to go to the bank, all the things that you can't do when you are constricted to being in an office for 40 hours a week. This is why I've always been a 1099 and have to find somewhere to work for 2.5 years so I can get my damn SS check one day, not where I want to be. And it's like we are not guaranteed to be on this earth long enough to collect that SS money. That's what kills me inside. That's what kills me inside, quite honestly, because I'm sitting here like, to use my dad as an example, he retired in, I think either 2017 or 2018. It might have been 2018. He retired in 2018. I think it was 2018, after his work life started in his 20s and ended at like 68. I want to say 67 or 68 was his last year of work. And he passed this year. So he had like 1 year before he had his stroke, 1 retirement year where he got his retirement money. And then the next 2 or 3 years, he wasn't mentally well enough to even use it or enjoy it in any kind of way. Another commercial break. I'm back. You talked about 3 hours. last night. That's why that specific number was said. Oh, I don't remember. Because if you're talking about that 10, 12-minute live I did, I hardly remember that. Anyone can answer my question. Thank you. Yeah, I talked about Big Brother for the first 12 minutes, but I don't really have anything else Big Brother related that I consider worth talking about. We have the divide, the upstairs Big Brother, and the downstairs Big Brother. And it is what it is with that. Upstairs, they're talking about Cirie and Felicia, and also Jag and Bowie are solidifying their thing. And every time Matt leaves the room, they're like, okay, we got to get out Matt. Okay, we can study because Matt's not in here. All right, we got to do our thing and make sure that we are ready to take out Matt. So that's what's happening there. And Cirie and Felicia are basically just sharing information with each other and trying to right the ship with each other and making sure that whichever one stays is going to be best equipped with info to have the best chance of taking out one of the three. But the three are only going to get taken out if Felicia wins. That's the only way that one of them is going to get taken out. There's no other way. I don't see them turning on each other. Whether they trust each other or not, exactly, because there's not much. Y'all remember mid-season when everything was going wild? I was like, yo, I got to jump on here 10 times because there's so much going all over the place and I have to get it off my plate. Now I'm like, they've been sitting around talking about the same things all day. It's nothing worth talking about. But yeah, as I was saying, my dad worked. He contributed 40 plus years into the system and enjoyed it. Not even enjoyed it because it wasn't even like it was enough to really enjoy it, but he received his his Social Security benefits for like 4 years, and only one of them was before he had his dementia. So all those years of working, and I'm sitting here like, I'm not even guaranteed to live until I reach that age. And even if I do live to reach that age, who knows what kind of condition I'm going to be in physically, mentally, or whatever. There's no guarantees in life. So that equation of like 30, 40 years of delayed gratification for whatever years that you have left at that point has just never, the math has never mathed for that for me. I'm saying it's not even just a money thing. It's not even just a money thing. If I got the exact same amount of money to do things that I love doing, like the salary that I get right now and the salary that I would get for doing things that I really am passionate about is the same, I would pick the passion. Even if it was somewhat less, as long as I could survive with that money, I'd pick the passion always. Not everybody feels that way, and not everybody understands that frame of thinking, especially not in my family. My grandfather worked his whole life at Goodyear, waiting for his retirement, etc. Oh my goodness. So I'm confused. So he didn't get his retirement? I thought there was going to be an elimination tonight and people were playing solitaire on the live feed. Yeah, today is Wednesday, so the elimination is tomorrow. It's boring on the feeds. It's boring on the feeds. If y'all are here to hear me talk about the feeds, I apologize, but I don't have anything to talk about. Everything I said in the first 10 minutes is all my thoughts and opinions on what's happening on the feeds. And even that was just for the sake of maintaining my daily streak, because there's only 8 days left of Big Brother. And imagine of all the things that have happened during this 92 days, and I've still been on here, for me to lose out on my streak because it's boring. I don't blame you, Rocky. I do not blame you. I do not blame you at all. Since it's almost 11, I'll stay on here for the next 20 minutes. At 11, I'm off because today was a long, tiring day in the office, like I said. So that's what I was trying to say. Today, I felt an overwhelming amount of anxiety being around people, which is strange. I mean, yes, on one hand, I have an anxiety disorder. I have agoraphobia specifically. So I have had problems in the past, serious problems with anxiety around people, but not at work. I never really had the problem. Okay, the problem did start at work, but it was a different field, a different type of work that I was doing. But in the last 10 years or so, I have not had any problem with anxiety going into the office. But I think that because I'm such a creature of habit and I've gotten so comfortable and familiar with doing all my work facing a computer instead of a person, now going into these work environments where I'm sitting in a long office table, all these people around the table, and we're having group discussions, and then we have to meet with the patients in person, and it's a lot more intense talking to them in your face, especially as a counselor. It's a lot more intense having face-to-face counseling sessions versus phone ones. I felt an extreme amount of anxiety today, to the point where I was like, shoot, this is just not for me anymore. And I am not somebody who has a problem with people depending on the setting, because y'all see me go to these challenge parties or Big Brother parties or whatever. I never experienced that anxiety there. I feel good. I feel perfectly fine. You know, like when I go to these big fitness events, I feel perfectly good. But then when you put me in this office setting, I feel trapped in there. I'm like, where's the nearest exit? Get me out. You learn that after this. What do you learn after the student loan? Oh, let me see. They also need to teach people personal finance. People deserve to know how our economy works. That should be something that should be taught even before you get to college, really. I didn't learn anything about the economy until, well, personal experiences. There's some kind of Twitter update that just came. Hold on. What is the Twitter update? Yeah, anyways. What are you doing / watching after Big Brother? I like this group. I appreciate, at least for me, coming for Big Brother, but I have stayed to share with each other within the setting. You know what? Something that I appreciate about the group that I have on this channel versus the group that I had on my music and mental health channel. On my music and mental health channel, if I jumped on here and started talking about Big Brother, I would have 150 viewers. And then if I said, oh, I only have 10 minutes of things to say about Big Brother, and then I'm going to talk about my life, it would go from 150 to like 8. So the thing I've appreciated about this specific group is that it's pretty consistent. I mean, yeah, a few people jump off here if they see that I'm going off on other stuff that's not Big Brother, but it's not like I lose the entire group. If there was 35 people on here, like a solid 25, 26, 27 are going to stay on here until I get off. And not just stay on and watch, but stay on and contribute to the conversation and share, you know. So I I don't want to compare and say that I like the group more than another group, which is, you know, also supporters for whatever reason. But I just feel like this Mindful Reality group is more here for me than they are just for Big Brother. And I think a part of that too is the fact that on the other channel, I was able to show the live feeds. So I think some of my viewers were artificial because they were watching me from other countries and saying, I don't get the feeds in my country, so I'm here to see the feeds. To answer your question, and in a second, I'm going to have to grab my charger. Well, I may or may not grab my charger because I might hop off here in the next 10, 12, like I said. But I'm covering the challenge. I did the episode review tonight. I'm covering Survivor. However, I won't be covering Survivor on the same day as the challenge because they come on at different times. I mean, they come on at the same time. I'm going to be covering the Traitors. I'm going to be covering what else other than the Traitors? Okay. The Circle, when the Circle comes back on. I'm open to covering pretty much a lot of things, but I will tell you that I tried watching Amazing Race, and that's probably not going to end up on my roster. But if you suggest a show to me, I watched Survivor because of y'all. I think that I watched The Mole because somebody suggested it to me. There's a few shows that I didn't watch before that have now been on my rotation just because of channel suggestions. So anything you want to see, let me know. Oh, House of Villains. I'm going to be covering House of Villains, which comes on Thursdays. We're mindful people here. Yeah, buddy. So the math is mathing with that. The math is mathing with the support. And with that said, I realize I have not done this in a little bit. I'm going to check because we have 27 viewers in here. And I want to see if the viewers match the likes. Because anyone who comes here on a regular basis know what happens if the viewers don't match the likes. We got 19 likes and we got 27 viewers. That's not bad. However,
what sense does that make? The math is not mathing.
Hit the like button, boost me in the algorithms. Let's YouTube know that y'all don't just watch my channel, but you like it and you are actively engaged. By the way, I'm going to be trying to do a lot of different things for this channel and the other channel, but specifically for those who follow me for my reality TV content, I'm not done yet. I know that I have mostly just been doing the standard lately, just speaking to y'all, but I do have other things. I have other plans. I have creative ideas. You know, you haven't seen the last of that. It's just that sometimes you have to regroup and you got to just figure things out, figure out what changes are the right changes, what things to invest the time into. It says 558 again. I definitely don't get paid for the glitches. Lisa posted in the Discord when she saw 8.2K. I've never had 8.2. I've never had 8,200 people viewing my lives at the same time. Even at the peak on my other channel, I had maybe like 400 and something, 420 something, 428, something like that. That's the most I've ever had viewing my channel, period. And the most views I ever had on any video, period, any live video, was when the jailers came for me based on a snippet that they didn't understand. Or maybe they understood it, but they were trying to be divisive and it worked. Because I understand that people were upset about that. 21 likes on my screen. That looks about realistic. 7.7K. This is wild and weird. I wish. Maybe one day I'll get 7.7K or 8.2K organically, but that day has not come today. I only have 809 subscribers. That would be an amazing day if suddenly I had 8,800, 8,000. Yeah, like 10 times more subscribers, 10 times more viewers than subscribers. Well, Holly, that's all we need to know about you. Yeah, but despite the fact that I felt all that anxiety, I still made it through my whole work day. I got done what I had to get done for the day, despite having a panic attack during the meeting, but nobody knew that I was having a panic attack. What else? I got in my exercise when I got home. I was able to watch a basketball game. I watched the challenge episode. I caught a little bit of feed stuff and I got on here. So even though I didn't feel great today, I accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish and needed to accomplish. Now I'm doing pretty good. I don't really think I'm going to watch too much of the feeds. I might throw them on for kicks and giggles before I go to bed. Might. That's not a guarantee. But yeah, despite the fact that my day started the way it started, ending here always makes me feel good. So I'm going to end on that note. And I want to thank everybody for joining. Y'all are the stars of my channel. I'm here, but I have no reason to be here without the people who support me. So thank you to each and every person who chooses to jump on here every day. There's so many things that you could watch. We live in the content era. There's a million YouTubers. There's a million shows that you could be watching. Sporting events. You could be doing anything and you choose to be here. Just like I choose to be here, but you choose to be here as well. And I never even thought that I would have an audience. Funny enough, because I have been putting content online for years. If y'all knew how many years, I never in a million years thought that it would be Big Brother that would give me an audience, because I didn't even watch Big Brother. I tried, let me do this mental health stuff. Let me try covering sports. Let me try covering this, celebrities, this and this thing and that thing. Nobody watched anything. And then all of a sudden, randomly started covering Big Brother, and the audience came when I started covering Big Brother. So you never know. When the audience joined, I was ready for it. I might be new to y'all, but I'm not new to this. I've been doing this for a pretty long time, more than 10 years. I could show you 2-3 of my channels from over 10 years ago. Let's just say I'd be comfortable in Oregon, same time. Night Mark Stars. Jay-Z says that in the song too. And for those who are on Discord, hit me up on Discord. I should have my Discord link just saved on here, but I still feel like a Discord rookie. So every single time I'm like, hey, join my Discord, I have to actually jump in here and figure out how to get the link again. Okay. So I'm going to be on here for another 4 minutes. So that gives you enough time, if you want to, jump on the Discord, where we've been having rousing chats lately. We've been having really good chats in the Discord. And to think, I thought that I would never use Discord consistently, but I think that for at least the last 2 weeks, I've pretty much been on there almost every day for the last 2 weeks, which doesn't sound like much, but I'm very sometimesy with TikTok. I'm extremely sometimesy with Reddit. The only thing that I'm super consistent with is YouTube. But Discord is starting to grow on me. Well, not necessarily that I love the app like that, but it's just that I like chatting with y'all in the Discord. So it's been pretty fun. I think somebody just joined, huh? Good to see you, Angel. We got a new person on there right now. All right, y'all. Join the Discord if you want to continue the after chats. And tomorrow is my favorite night of any Big Brother week. Eviction night. Even though it's going to be probably Sari, so I'm not really excited about that. But it's going to be eviction night, and eviction night means we are one night closer to the end of this long season. This is the season that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Big Brother started playing it, not knowing what it was. But they'll continue playing it forever just because this is the season that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. That sounds like a good song. Maybe I need to get to recording. I like doing that stuff. That's fun. All right, y'all. So I'm about to go. And I hope you have an amazing night on purpose. I'm going to do it. I wish I had the Lamb Chops play along puppet, because I would use the puppet to do it. It would be a little bit less funny with me just doing it by myself. But the lyrics are good. The content is good. I might just record it without even being on the camera. I might just record the song. I might just record the song by itself. I haven't done that in a while. Okay. Have an amazing night.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what?
Thank
but
you.
I like this Canadian.
Well,
I like this one.
well, thank you.